Okay, switching gears to kind of the ASVAB, the test that everybody has to take in order to join. I know that there's different scores associated with that, different things, but that kind of what would be the minimum to get in for an ASVAB score?
So the minimum to get into the Air Force in general is a 31. Now, are you going to be qualified for a lot of jobs? Possibly not. But regardless, if the dream is to get into the Air Force and you qualify for it, do it. By all means, do it, because it's going to change your life no matter what. Change mine. Mine wasn't a very high score either. Here I am. I'll admit that. Somebody called me out on the other day. Like it was a school visit. We were doing a classroom presentation. The guy was like, "Hey, what are y'all ASVAB scores?" And I'm like, the guy's like, one of the other guys I was there with, he's like, "Oh, I scored like a 70 something." And I'm like,
yeah.
First of all, how dare you? How about you? First of all, how about you keep that question to yourself, bud?
Yeah. Let's holster that score there.
Personally,
and want to do some push-ups, college boy?
Well, the reason why so you kind of already teed me up for the follow-on then is that what are the rules for taking it again? Because I know that there are some stipulations that, you can take it again after a certain amount of time, but then after that second one, you've got to wait and all that kind of stuff.
Yep. So you have 30 days to wait in between, up to 3 tries. So once you hit that 3rd try and it just doesn't go your way, then you have to wait 6 months. So the longer it takes for you to pass, the longer you have to wait. But kind of same thing that goes into kind of development with these candidates. Like if you're not passing, probably honestly the first or second time, because you take the practice test initially, right? Kind of see where you're at. Like, oh, they scored a 15. Like, okay, go home and study. Let's have you take a practice test again in a couple weeks. If you come out and you take the ASVAB and you just bomb it, and you come out again and you bomb it the second time, like, what have you been doing in a month? Are you sitting at home like, I'm gonna think about it? They get stuck on their phone on Instagram, scrolling through One's Ready podcast for something.
If you're gonna be on Instagram, it might as well be our page. Like no big deal.
Then they would crush the ASVAB though if they were on our page.
It's not gonna help you
smarter.
It might make you dumber. I think, especially listening to me. If it's one where I'm heavily focused, like, sorry.
That's a tangent. But yeah, that's really the biggest thing is just seeing somebody that I had a couple when I was doing my tier 1 that just could not pass it. I don't know what was going on. I don't know what they're doing at home. I understand you got a home life, but man, if you want to do something, you got to dedicate some time to it. And so that was my biggest thing. I always told them that, and whether they listen or not, obviously, proof's in the pudding, right?
Are you saying that sacrifice will be required to make it into this community regardless?
No.
Great question. Great question, Trent.
Yes,
1,000%. 1,000%. If you're not taking time management, also as a recruiter, you learn about time management day 1. So doing something like this, especially being a civilian, not in the Air Force yet, if you're not dedicating time, obviously, like I said, you have work. If you have kids or a wife or a spouse, whoever it is at home, or whatever else you got to take care of, like priority, right? But if you want to do this, you got to take the time and you have to train. You got to work out. We're not telling you to go do the stuff in your off time because they're trying to blow smoke up your ass and be like, oh, they're going to come back and they're going to pass. It's going to happen. It's just hands down. Like you got to put time in. You got to do it if this is what you want to do, because when you actually get in, say you get through SWIC, say you get through ANS, you get selected, like it doesn't stop. It's 1,000%. Like, y'all guys, it's excellence at all times. Like if anything less is not acceptable. So you always got to be ready. We give
you a 3-month vacation after that, so you can do whatever you want to do and
there
relax.
That's not true. Trent, wait a second.
No, that's not true.
I'm going to Google that. I don't think that's right.
Unofficial part of the podcast, not the.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.